The discovery of gold in Johannesburg spurred a feverish gold rush as fortune hunters from all over the world descended on the area. Early in the 20th century, the British colonial government began forcibly relocating blacks from the central city, which eventually led to the system known as apartheid.
The apartheid practice of planning and urbanization have led to the development of a spatial structure with many shortcomings: spatial inequality, fragmentation and spatial disconnection, urban sprawl and limited density, limited land use diversity, and pressure on the natural environment.
This picture indicates that in 1994 there was a planning which had a significant influence on the population density of Johannesburg. Before 1994, the number of population was sharply increasing in the period of apartheid time, reaching the highest point. However, it decreased gradually after post-apartheid.
The distribution of the population in Johannesburg has not occurred in a compact manner, despite the fact that over the last 20 years the city has become denser. Large proportions of the population was placing in peripheral dormitory townships, since the city has grown in a fairly sprawled fashion. One-third of the population is concentrated in 5% of urban areas. The consequence was that density and concentration of jobs and people have not adequately developed to support a sustainable city.
The spatial structure that currently defines the city of Johannesburg can be summarized in terms of the following dominant elements: an established inner city core or CBD, which still functions as a significant economic focus of the city. It is also anchored on the two dominant development corridors that across the city region.
A series of activities nodes of varying intensity and functional characteristics that have established around the core over time.
An east-west urban corridor system that has grown around the key railroad and industrial areas that supported the mining industry that formed the basis of the city's historical growth.
A related belt of mining land and residue areas immediately south of the east-west corridor. There is a significant development buffer between the northern and southern parts of the city.
According to census figures, is that the number of households living in informal settlements has declined from 2001 to 2011, which may be due to government housing and upgrading programs and a move to backyard accommodation, while households living in informal backyard dwellings has increased significantly.
There is an existing housing backlot in the city. Those who are informally housed and often in inadequate living conditions, or those that don't have access to adequate affordable housing. Informal dwelling include informal settlement, informal backyard dwellings, and formal buildings that are informally occupied. While these areas are sometimes well located, that's the reason that people may have chosen to live there.
Addressing the mobility challenges in the Gauteng City region requires an improved public transport system, but equally important is that more residents live in higher density areas close to the places of work, shopping, and study. The sprawling urban form and inadequate public transport lead to stark difference in residents' mode of options. Whereas a more central area with easy access to economic opportunities tend to be dependent on cars. Poor places located further away relies on taxis. Socio-economic and historical factors influence the dominance of road-based modes, primarily cars and taxis. The graph illustrates the dominant transport modes in Gorton are taxis, which is an informal but the most common mode in Johannesburg because of its flexibility. Problems differ somewhat depending on where people live. For example, residents of the metro areas were more concerned with the high cost of transport, rude drivers, passengers, and unreliable service. While in non-metro areas, problems are with unroadworthy vehicles, reckless driving, and rudeness dominate. The spatial fragment of Gorton affects the time residents take to travel from home to places of work, shopping, education, and so on. Trip duration is further affected by a range of other factors such as traffic congestions and limited access to public space. Last few decades, there was limited government investment in public transport, which left significant numbers of people in Gorton with poor levels of accessibility. It depicts the stark public transport challenge that continues to plague the province. Facilitating an integrated transport network has emerged as a key priority in Gorton City region. Within this version is the aim of the improving overall mobility across the region. In recent years, GCR has seen significant investment in public transport infrastructure and operations. One initiative that addresses the issue is the Corridors of Freedom project that is currently underway at Johannesburg. It aims to restage the city and rid it of its apartheid roots, thus taking it towards a more equal and sustainable future.